Hello everybody and welcome back. We are here for week 32 of the Altered Index 2025 challenge. This is the challenge that I'm running in my Facebook group, Nonstop Papercrafts, and of course here on my channel. I'd really love to see your takes on these prompts and your cards. I really enjoy seeing the ones that are posted in the Facebook group. If you are posting them elsewhere, make sure that you're using the hashtag, that way myself and others can find you and be inspired by your work too. So as I said, we are on week 32. The prompt for this week is school days. So as usual, I have got some different bits and pieces together. So I've got the size card that I am using. And I have gathered some bits that I was trying to think kind of went with school days. So I've got this old handwriting paper. So I'm going to use some of that. I've also got some old graph paper, which I thought could be used as well. And then I always remember whenever we had either dinner money or if it was donating to a charity or whatever collection was going on at school, we used to have them in these coin envelopes with the name, class and the amount that was in them. So I thought, well, that is brilliant. Obviously nowadays everything's digital, so I thought I'd use that on the card as well. And then I've got a stamp and die set. It's a Lena Cuttle one about being back to school. So I've got some books with an apple on top and then some different pencils. So these were the kind of coloured pencils that I used to have when I was at school. So you used to either have the black and red ones or you used to have the ones that were just yellow with the little rubbers on the end. So I thought I'd use those as well. Now normally I would add some colour to my card and then start sticking bits and pieces on. But what I'm going to do is actually put this paper on first, then add some colour over the top of the paper. So I'm just going to move those bits out of the way first, and then think about how I'm going to apply these. So I definitely want the handwriting paper on there, so I think I might make that the bulk of the background. So just lining it up with the card, and obviously I can trim off anything if it's overhanging. I'm just going to tear that off. I'm going to tear it just above that blue line, just so I haven't got that huge, great big margin up at the top. Just so it's more of the lines. And then, yeah, I'm going to stick that down. And then we'll think about the graph paper and the envelope. And then, as I said, I'll add some colour after that. But yeah, I was trying to pull out things that reminded me of school days. I mean, I do still work in a school, but it's all very different now to when I was at school. Actually, the school I work at is very technological. The kids do the majority of their work digital. It's all on iPads. Yeah, it's all very, very, very strange not using a lot of textbooks and things, but that's the way obviously the world is going. So just going to make sure that that's really stuck down. Now this is quite a thin paper, so you might see the glue coming through. Oh, you don't actually, that's pretty good. I mean, this does dry clear, so although you kind of see the streaks of the glue while it's wet, it does go away once it is dry. So I'm just going to trim those bits off. There we go, and this side. Oh, there we go. Right. So this is what we've got to work with then. Right, so then with the graph paper, I might have that kind of, I don't know, torn and at an angle. But I want it a bit more sort of roughly torn, not quite as straight as I've obviously currently got it. Something like that. Yeah, then I think I'm going to stick it along that corner like that. So let's have a look. obviously I can add some more glue in a moment. Just want to get that corner bit stuck down, and I can just lift it back and add it onto this bit along here. Let's make sure I'm still even in frame, sorry. It's getting a bit low then, wasn't I? That can go along there. I think I just need a teeny bit more glue along this bit. That's it. Okay, and I'm going to do the same, and I'm going to trim off again any of the extra bits. Now I do quite often have people posting in the Facebook group, as I say, sharing their cards, and they're always absolutely brilliant. Really amazing how people interpret these, and this one's going to be interesting, school days, because as I said, obviously with the age range of people that watch this channel and that are taking part, it'd be interesting to see what they kind of link with their school days and what's, I don't know, maybe a bit nostalgic for them. Right, so I want this, but I probably don't want the whole thing, so I'm just going to kind of again tear down. See, I've got my books as well. And then I've got my pencils. I'm just trying to think about how I'm going to have these, and then I can start sticking some bits down. Okay, so maybe something like that. Obviously, like I said, I'm going to have some colour on there as well. I'm going to have some ink splatters, because we used to use, again, proper ink pens way back when. Yeah, I quite like those. Right, okay. So I'm going to stick this down. Obviously, this was an envelope, so I'm just going to cut off that back piece, because I don't need that. And it's just going to add extra bulk to the card that isn't needed. Oops. There we go. Yeah, I might bring it up a bit actually. Bring it up a little bit. Oops. Okay, so we've got that. Right, as I said, I'm now going to add some colour. So I'm going to use some vintage photo just to kind of get it looking a little bit more vintage and aged, and then I might add another colour as well. So I'm just going to put a little bit of the vintage photo on there. Water it down a little bit. Let's move those out the way. Okay, so that's watered down, and then I'm just going to pop that on here and let it just kind of absorb into the paper a bit. Right, okay, so I'm just going to give that a little blast with my heat gun, and then we'll kind of see what other colours we want to add. Okay, so that's all nice and dry. I'm going to add a little bit of blue, only because both my primary school actually, and even when I went on to secondary school, Blue seemed to have been the colour of like our jumpers and our ties and things. So I'm going to put a little bit of blue, not too much. I'm just going to use a little bit of Salty Ocean. Then I'm going to use this smaller pad, which has just a slightly different shade of blue. And then I'm going to, again, water that down and use that on the card. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to kind of smush it in just so I get some different bits of blue here and there. It doesn't have to be everywhere, just to kind of, again, like I said, a little bit of blue to link to the school that I remember. Okay, so little splatters of blue. So again, I am just going to clean up, dry this, and then we can start adding on all of those other elements. Okay, so again, that has now dried. I have just given it a little sort of bend just to kind of straighten it up a little bit more. I've got a stamp that has a few, they're kind of like little splatter marks, so I was thinking of using that on here as well. So I'm just going to put them on there. I'm going to do this in black ink though, because we would have used black ink in our ink pens at school. Again, I'm just going to add those on here as well. Okay, maybe just a little bit more down the bottom here. Okay, like so. Right, okay, so now that we've got that, we can start thinking about where these are going to go. So I was going to have that there. Or do I want it? Yeah, maybe just a little bit more to the centre. Because I think I had it more over to the left-hand side before, but I think I'm going to put it more in the centre. We can put that in there. And when I was colouring in these books, I was trying to think back when I was at school. I think these were the colour exercise books that we had. Yeah, this was quite a nice one actually, trying to go through and just think of the things when I was at school, trying to remember back. I actually recently bought some pencils that were in these colours, the red and black ones. And as soon as I saw them, I thought, oh my goodness, I remember those from when I was at school. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have, wish I had an ink pen stamp and die set, because that would have been perfect, I think. Oh, I know what I could have had on here as well, some kind of like chalkboard or something. I remember when I first started teaching using a chalkboard. Now there aren't boards at all, everything's on an interactive screen. How times have changed. Seems crazy, really. Right, and then I need to add a little bit of a sentiment. So let's have a think what we could add. Okay, so I'm a little bit obsessed with this embossing label maker at the moment, so I think I'm going to use this, and I'm going to have the words back to school, I think. Back. So I've got back to school. I don't know whether to... Yeah, I think I'm going to split it up a little bit. So I'm just going to cut in between these two pieces. And I didn't realise, I can't remember whose video it was that I watched. It's one of my design team, and they have this label maker, and there's a bit on the end that it hangs off for you to be able to peel off the backing. I did not realise that. As I said, this is a reasonably new one, and I've peeled off the wrong bit first. I needed the back two first, so let's put that to one side. I think it was Ashley. I've got a feeling it's Ashley who I saw, and I just, when she said, oh, you know, you've got this bit to peel it off, and I thought, oh, that's genius, because I wondered why it did have that. I was obviously having a very senior moment because I didn't get it at first. I was thinking, why have I got this little bit on the end when I print off? But yes, that makes absolute sense now. So back to school. There we go. So there is my card. So this was week 32. The prompt was school days. So I've had a bit of a blast from the past from my school days. So I've got the handwriting paper, some graph paper, one of the old money envelopes that we used to bring in, like I said, for things like dinner money, trips, that kind of thing. I've got the different books that we would have used, the different exercise books. I've got some pencils around the outside, and back to school. Well, I'm really happy with that card, and I thank you so much for joining me. I really can't wait to see your cards. As I said, this one's going to be an interesting one because where we're all probably from different school periods, it'll be interesting to see how you kind of interpret this prompt for yourself. As I said at the beginning, I would love to see yours in the Facebook group. I have got the link down below in my link tree if you want to come and join the Non-Stop Papercrafts Facebook group. If you have enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. If you want to drop me a comment, I really love reading and responding to those as well. If you are not already a subscriber, of course, I would absolutely love for you to do so. Please make sure, though, that you're also clicking that bell button. That way you are notified of any new crafty videos. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next crafty video. Bye for now.